that was round one. Now it's time for round two, which include our winners from round one and the teams that had a bye. So we got some new teams being introduced right now. So let's go ahead and start at the top of the bracket. We got the 2000 Ravens from the last round going against, here we go, the 2007 New England Patriots. This is like offense, the ultimate offense versus the ultimate defense right here.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's get it. Korea, who you choosing?
Whew, man.
Yeah, so, these matchups gonna get tougher.
I know. That's the thing about it. Whew. Yeah, so like you said, Stacey, this is a real tough one. But I'm gonna go with the 2007 Patriots on this one. I'm gonna go with them because I just feel like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like the Patriots went 16-0 that year. And
we remember.
They finished first in the AFC East. So I feel like they had a remarkable season that year, in my opinion. And obviously they had Tom Brady. They had Randy Moss as receiver. And Randy Moss is so badass. He's so good. Like, he was just great. Like, one of the greatest receivers, in my opinion. So I'm definitely going to go for the Patriots. And also, they also became the only 8th team in the NFL history to finish the regular season undefeated too. So like I said, that is remarkable. So yeah, I'd go with the Patriots.
All right, we got one for the 07 Patriots. Noah, who you got?
You got another vote for the 07 Patriots, man. I can't not skip on Brady and Moss against Dilfer and whoever they had at receiver. It's just I also trust Brady to get it done against an elite defense as such, and it's just that 07 Patriots team is gonna be going far in this bracket because that's gonna be that team was just OP, man. OP. Not a lot of mistakes in that squad there.
So the top wide receivers for the Ravens at the time, 2000, was Quadri Ishmael and Travis Taylor and Patrick Johnson. Yeah. All three of those combined ain't touching Randy Moss in this season. So I was going to go with the 07 Patriots anyway, but obviously they're going to move on because it was 2-0, now it's 3-0. Just can't ignore that historic season, except for one tiny hiccup at the end of the season. Just one tiny hiccup. Cost them a lot, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so let's move on. This matchup, we got the 99 Rams from the last round going against the 92 Dallas Cowboys. Korea, who you got?
So, yeah, this is also another good one, I feel like. I'm going to have to go with the Cowboys on this one, 92 Cowboys. I feel like I said earlier, they had Jimmy Johnson as their head coach. 13-3, they ended with the season, and then they also had Troy Aikman as quarterback. Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. So they had those top names and those weapons on offense. And honestly, like, their defense was pretty legit too. But yeah, they had some pretty young guys on that team. But yeah, I'm gonna go for the Cowboys for this one.
All right, we got one for the Cowboys. Noah, who you got?
I'll have to go with the Cowboys too on this one.
God
Sorry, Stace. Sorry, Stace. But yeah, it's just that unit is probably one of the more historic like Cowboys units as of late in this like time period. That offense was pretty absurd with the amount of weapons they had, and that was a historic season for them. Just enough said.
Obviously, my pick of the 99 Rams is rendered useless because it's 2 against 1. But I would say comparing both offenses is, again, like splitting hairs. I mean,
true.
I think I would take Kirk 1 over Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman just getting killed this whole episode. We just taking everybody over Troy.
I would take Kirk over Aikman though, for sure.
Yeah,
especially those years. Yeah.
Right. But I think the Cowboys both these teams had a dominant year, but when I was looking up the 92 Cowboys, they flat out had a great year. Like flat out, you just can't ignore that. But
Yeah.
I was gonna go with the Rams because they had the better quarterback, but it don't matter. So let's just move on. All right.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you.
All right. Next matchup, we got the 89 49ers, who was the one team that got the bye, going against the 08 Steelers. Ooh, this is a nasty matchup too. Korea, who you got?
Y'all are gonna be shocked.
Bias aside.
I picked the 89 Niners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I picked the 89 Niners because I feel like the Niners, like, back in 89, they did have like a good year, honestly. And I do feel like, they earned their fourth Super Bowl victory and also consecutive as well. And they killed the Broncos 55-10. They killed them. So I feel like the Niners, in my opinion, they deserve a lot of respect. The 89 Niners. And I do feel like, they had Joe Montana, and of course, like, Montana's the best. Like, he's one of the best quarterbacks out there, right? And, so many people love Montana, including me, lots of respect for that guy. And Jerry Rice, we all know Jerry Rice,
We all know Jerry Rice.
Yep.
Kind of.
So I would say that I'll definitely go for the 89 Niners because their offense was so, like, they had a real good offense. Everything seemed a bit put together for them. So I'm gonna go for the 89 Niners. Okay.
All right, sounds good to me. 89.
Okay, I'm sorry, but a little side note. Why would I? Okay, I know I picked like what was it? I picked like the Cowboys over your Rams earlier, Stacey, but I'm gonna go with the Niners, okay, over my Steelers. Because the Niners, like, they were so good back then. And they had Joe Montana too. Come on.
Yeah, they had Joe Montana.
Yeah.
And no. History, if history is any indication on this show, we all know you lean towards the team that you like and not the team that's objective here.
I'm a little bit too biased.
A little bit too biased. Yeah, just constructive criticism. It's all love. It's all love, Korea.
It's all good. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, man. All right. Noah, who you got, 89 Niners or the 08 Steelers?
Oh, 89 Niners, easy. I don't think that's up for debate.
Yeah.
I mean, the Niners had two receivers go for 1,000 yards. I mean, that year, and yeah, they, like you said, they blew the freaking Broncos out of the water. Like, they imagine what they would have done to the 08 Steelers if they played them. Like,
they would kill them for real.
Yeah. So yeah, 89 Niners.
I don't think they would kill them 55-10. I think the Steelers would put up a fight.
I think they could put up like 20-some, but still it'd be like a significant loss.
But I don't really think it's going to be that significant.
You think so?
I don't. No, I don't. Because
I still think they would, though, to be honest. My Steelers versus that team.
I don't think it'd be an ass whooping, but I mean, they'll probably lose. Well, I mean, for 89 Niners are going to go. I was going to pick them anyway, but
sure you were.
For obvious reason. Did they, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they have Roger Craig at this time?
They did.
Yeah, he was bringing forth that pass catching running back. Like, we didn't really see that. We see, running backs running in between tackles, go north and south, but he was really kind of changing the ways at running back. He don't get his credit for that a little bit.
He don't. But, he's so underrated.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was gonna go with them anyway. All right, here we go. We got the 2024 Chiefs going against the team that had to buy the 2006 Chargers, who are in San Diego at this time. Korea, who you picking?
Yeah, this one was a little tough for me to pick. But I'll have to go with the 06 Chargers on this one. I do feel like the Chargers, like, that year, I feel like they weren't too shabby that year, in my opinion. They did, like, finish their season like with a 14-2 record. And as you guys know, they had Phillip Rivers. Good old Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers back then. And then they had Antonio Gates as a tight end and fullback
Antonio Gates.
O'Neal as well. LaDainian
Yeah.
Tomlinson, all those good guys. They had some good offensive men on that team. So I feel like I would have to go for the Chargers on this one because honestly, I feel like they really pushed themselves like that year and they did what they could. So I'd say I would go for the Chargers on this one.
Marty Ball.
Hmm.
All right. Noah, who you got? 06 Chargers or 24 Chiefs?
Oh, 06 Chargers. This team was a lot more complete than the 24 Chiefs. I'm sorry, like the Chiefs obviously have the better quarterback, but the Chargers, dude, I mean, if they didn't play the freaking best Patriots team, arguably one of the best teams ever, like in first playoff round, like imagine what they would have done. That might have been their best run to a Super Bowl. Like I'm not gonna lie, like this had to be the team to do it. So a 14-2 record. Yeah, shit, dude. 14-2 record's pretty crazy, man. I mean, you said they got LT, they got freaking Antonio Gates catching touchdowns here and there, left and right. So yeah, I think that was the all better round team.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the 06 Chargers too. This team was nasty, especially offensive. Oh my god, I remember watching them. Remember LT was vicious, man. Like that dude could not be stopped. Yeah, and Darren Sproles to change the pace back, like Korea mentioned, Lorenzo Neal, whose contributions cannot be forgotten. Yeah, but Marty Ball got them in trouble in the playoffs, and they could never get it done. It was unfortunate too.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to ask: do they have Antonio Cromartie on this team?
They might have.
Might have, right? Okay.
They might have. I think Junior Seau was on his team too.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs did win the Super Bowl, obviously. The Chargers didn't, but you just can't ignore how great that offense was. So I'm going with the Chargers too. All right, here we go. Patriots back again. 2004 version versus the 2021 Rams. Korea, who you got?
Yeah. So this one was another one, man. This whole thing, man. This whole episode, man. It's like making my head hurt.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love it so much. Honestly, I feel like between these teams, I would have to go for the Rams, 2021 Rams. I mean, Rams, they had a good season, they finished 12-5, first in the NFC West, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Jalen, all those guys. And you guys know that, of course, like the Niners, the Niners and the Rams had played week 18 and it was like an overtime loss. The Rams had lost, blah, blah, blah. But the Rams, they had won their division that year for the first time since 2018. So, I feel like the Rams that year, it was COVID year it was still sort of COVID year. Yeah. But basically, I mean, I feel like they had a good team, good offense, good defense. It was solid back then. So I would go for the 2021 Rams.
All right. Noah, who you got? 21 Rams or the 04 Patriots?
21 Rams for sure. That offense for the Rams was definitely better that year than compared to the 2004 Patriots. 2004 Patriots didn't have a receiver to go over 1,000 yards. I didn't realize you guys had Sony Michel that year as your running back.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Sony Michel.
Rams for sure. They had a much better year. I think they're just I didn't realize that Matthew Stafford that year threw for like over 4,800 yards. Like that's pretty insane. His first year in LA.
Right.
So I would definitely take that team to beat 2004 Patriots.
Yeah, on paper, the Rams have the better offense. I was going to, in a surprise twist, I was going to pick the Patriots. I think the Patriots defense is good enough to stop this offense, but It don't matter. And, I'm always happy when the Rams can move on. So it's all good. It's all good with me. All right. So Rams are moving on. Next matchup, we got the 93 Cowboys who won the first round against the 94 49ers, going against the 2020 Kansas City Chiefs, who had one of the byes. Korea, who you got, Cowboys or Chiefs?
So I'm going to have to go with this one. I'm going to have to go for the 2020 Chiefs, just because I'm sorry, but I just feel like that year the Chiefs were killing it. They had a great year during like COVID and everything. And honestly, that was the year that they went to the Super Bowl, right? They went to the
but they lost.
Yeah. So you're just like, but they lost. But yeah, so they finished their season first in the West, AFC. And then they had Tyreek Hill as their receiver, and they had Kelsey. They also had, as a strong safety, they also had Tyrann Mathieu. I can't even say his name. I'm sorry.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I feel like that year they did have a good season, and I feel like even despite COVID, I feel like they still pushed themselves, and they had a real good offense. And in my opinion, I feel like their offense was like better that year against the other teams. So yeah, I would go for the Chiefs that year.
All right, got one for the Chiefs. 2020. Noah, who you got?
Damn, dude, this is tough. Honestly, it was against the 93 Cowboys, right?
Yeah, 93 Cowboys.
I think I know what you're gonna pick.
I gotta say Cowboys actually on this one.
All right.
I gotta say Cowboys. That's slightly though, dude. That both of those offenses are killer. I just gotta. I think I have more faith in if Jimmy Johnson were to coach my team. I just think that also I feel like the 93 Cowboys had the edge of defense. So there's that. So I just think that for those reasons, I have to go with the 93 Cowboys. That was like probably one of the more successful. That was probably one of the most dominant like Cowboys teams I've ever seen. Like going back and looking at them, it's just like 93 Cowboys.
Yeah. All right. So it's up to me to break the tie. I'm going to have to go with the 93 Cowboys too. But just slightly. That Chiefs team 2020 was great. However, they didn't get the job done in the Super Bowl versus, the Cowboys. This is that great 90s Cowboys run. Can't ignore that, especially when they got the ring too. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
Those two were good, Stacey. Like those two matchups were a bit tough because
here go another
the Cowboys, but then I was like, I'll pick the Chiefs. So I liked how the Chiefs were back in 2020.
Yeah. All right, here go. We got two more fantastic matchups, but first let's start with the 1990 Bills, who had the bye, going against the 98 Broncos. Here we go. Korea, what you got?
Well, I would have to say for this one, it was a little bit tough for me as well. It wasn't too bad. It was a bit close, but I'm going to have to go with the 98 Broncos here. I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like they had a better offense, and just their offense is more of an eye catcher, in my opinion, than the Bills back then. That's just my opinion. They did have Gary Kubiak as their offensive coordinator, and then, their head coach, they had Mike Shanahan. But yeah, they had, like I said earlier, they had John Elway as their quarterback, and John Elway was one of the good guys. They also had Shannon Sharp as well, and Terrell Davis as their running back. So I do feel like the Broncos, they were, they were hungry that year. And like I had mentioned earlier, that was the same year that John Elway was wrapping it up. And, as Ben Roethlisberger says, hang it up. Time to hang it up. So I do feel like the 98 Broncos had a better season, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with the Broncos.
One for the Broncos. Noah, who you got? 90 Bills or 98 Broncos?
I'm gonna give this one to the Broncos only because they had a slightly like a better offense. More so, I feel like the Bills might have had the better defense though.
Hmm.
Um,
Bruce
but
Smith.
Bruce Smith having 19 sacks in a year is pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, and over 100 tackles, like, bro. Yeah. They had Andre Reed, who's a dog.
Mm.
Was it Thurman Thomas?
Yeah,
Thurman
it
Thomas.
was
Yeah.
Thurman Thomas. Yeah.
Thurman Thomas, dude. Yeah, no, I got to give this one to the Broncos team. I mean, just Elway is just too filthy, man. With that
Mhm.
offense and Shannon Sharp, dude. And then with Terrell Davis, like, yeah, that's gonna be hard for me to go veto over that Broncos team.
So it doesn't matter who I pick, but I was having a hard time with this, but I ultimately went with the Broncos at the end because they got it done. And then I think they had the more memorable team than the Bills. Well, memorable players. I just feel so bad for the Bills to just go to 4 Super Bowls and just lose all 4 in a row.
Shit.
In a row.
That's
You lost
horrible.
the first Super Bowl. You lost on a missed field goal.
Wide right.
Yep, Scott Norwood, and then you proceed to go to the next 3 Super Bowls and get your ass whooped in those next 3. Then they lost like 52-17 against the Cowboys. The Washington football team blew them out. I think they faced the Cowboys twice, and oh man, oh
Pretty
my,
awful,
oh
dude.
man, I know it's like, oh
God.
Lord.
I'd be
Man.
severely depressed if I were a Bills fan back then.
Right?
I know they went through it. They went through it like
Man.
4 in a row to lose 4. You couldn't get one.
Not one, bro. Oh,
Yeah, and then the one they got this, they should have beat the Giants. The Giants, they had a backup quarterback in that game.
yeah.
And then we talking about the 90 Bills. They had a backup quarterback in that game. Phil Simms got hurt, so they had Jeff Hostetler or something like that. But they controlled the ground game with Otis Anderson and controlled the clock. And they still had a chance to win. I think they blew a play like previously, and that's why they had to kick the field goal. But
tough.
anyway, yeah, I'm going with the Broncos. We don't want this to be a sad episode crying.
Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna leave them behind. Leave them behind.
All the Bills fans just tuned out by now.
All right. Last matchup of the second round. We got the 2013 Seahawks, who moved on from the last round, going against the team that had a bye, the 2015 Carolina Panthers.
Oof.
Another close one.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah, Korea, who you got?
All right, Stacey. Well, this one was like a little bit tough for me to pick. Also, kind of feel like that about everything that we talked about today. But honestly, like, I'm still gonna roll with the Seahawks on this one. I'm sorry, but it's just because, like, I feel like they had, like I said earlier, they had the Legion of Boom. And no disrespect to the 2015 Carolina Panthers. The Panthers 9 years ago, like, they were so solid. Like, they had their time to shine. You know, they had Cam Newton as their quarterback, and they had Greg Olsen as their tight end. They also had Trey Turner as their guard. So honestly, like, they did have a good offensive, team. They had some good guys. I mean, they did beat the Seahawks in the divisional. I mean, there's that year that happened. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks because they had, of course, Russell Wilson. They had beast mode. They had like a solid offense. I just feel like that team that year, the Legion of Boom, it was sick. Like, the Seahawks were sick. So I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks on this one. Oh, and by the way, we don't want to forget Richard Sherman either. So
don't forget Richard Sherman.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because he will get on us if we don't talk about how great he was. All right. Noah, who you got? You got the Seahawks 2013 or 2015 Panthers?
I got the Panthers on this one, guys.
Uh-oh.
Do it.
Yeah. I really and I was the one who picked this team too. Before the bracket, man. It's like, dude, this Panthers team was just so fun to watch that year too. Like, not only were they so dominant, but they minimized their mistakes, and I feel like they were more of a complete team. I feel like that year, especially with their defense. I think with Josh Norman, Luke Kuechly,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just, oh my god, that was nasty,
Yeah.
bro. And
Mhm.
yeah, that offense was just so hard to stop. Like, even when they played, like you just mentioned, Korea, when they beat the Seahawks in the divisional that year, after they had the Panthers had their bye. Like that first, I'll always remember watching that game. The first play from scrimmage, Jonathan Stewart takes it like 60 yards, like to the 10, like right off the bat. I was like, dude, that shift was crazy. But yeah, I think the 2015 Panthers got this one for me.
Oh, it's a tie. I gotta
I
break the
respect it,
tie
man.
again. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to go with the Legion of Boom in the
Woo! There we
2013
go,
Seahawks. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Oh.
I just, like Korea said, that Seahawks team was nasty. They had a pretty solid, linebackers, Bruce Irvin, Bobby Wagner, and KJ Wright. That was solid linebackers time. But obviously, we know they're about the defensive backfield. Golden Tate, who was kind of underrated at the time at wide receiver.
Mhm.
I can't get this image out of my head. Just Cam Newton just shitting himself against that Broncos defense. I was a big Cam Newton fan. I wanted him to win that Super Bowl. He was really Superman that year. He was doing it all. But when he went up against that defense, yeah, and he went up somebody more gangster than him in Broncos defense, and he didn't do so well. And then we're talking about the Legion of Boom defense here. And with those tough linebackers, I don't think Cam Newton would have beat them either. Well, I mean, he obviously beat the 2015 team, but I think this Seahawks team was on a mission. And then the Seahawks team was faltering at that time. But if he would have went up against the 2013 version, I don't think he would have did so well. So I'm going with the Seahawks.
Wasn't that 2013 year that same year that the Panthers played them in Seattle and then the Seahawks won? Was that the same year or was that different?
I don't know. Let me look that up real quick. 2013.
To be fair though, the Panthers like leading receiver that year was Greg Olsen. He had 1,000 yards as a tight end. That's pretty crazy. Like,
but Greg Olsen was good though.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. No, they did not play the Panthers at all in the playoffs that year.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Okay. So that's another year then. Okay.
All right. That was the end of the first half of our NFL all-time teams tournament. We went through 2 rounds worth. Get ready for the quarters, the semis, and the finals. Get ready for that. Stay tuned.